OnlyFans is a platform where you pay to access uncensored videos and pictures from content creators. Knowing human nature, people are often drawn to explicit content, which is why sex influencers, also known as OnlyFans models or porn stars, dominate the platform. But while OnlyFans was initially touted as a tool for female empowerment and sexual freedom, the conversation has changed. These optimistic notions are being questioned more and more as more concerning trends reveal themselves. Today, we're exploring the troubling trends, the impact on mental health, societal norms, and accessibility to exploitative behavior. So stick with us, Psych2Goers, as we explore the darker side of OnlyFans. Content creation is a complicated and competitive industry. It's no different for sex influencers. The same way Mr. Beast is constantly having to reach new extremes to maintain and grow his audience, the same goes for OnlyFans creators. Lily Phillips is one such creator who slept with 100 men for publicity, but there's no such thing as winning in content creation. It can end at 100 and was bound to be outdone. Another creator, Bonnie Blue, claims to have slept with over 1,000 men within 12 hours shortly after the 100 men stunt. These extremes can warp our view of sex for creators and consumers. As it becomes more competitive, the act of sex is trivialized and turned into work. It's just a job. This has the potential to completely rewire intimacy. Extreme sexual stunts for financial gain could cause emotional detachment, objectification of oneself, and the loss of personal boundaries. For viewers, if we normalize this, it could take a toll on your expectations for and relationships with intimacy in relationships. You may have heard of influencer houses in which influencers live together for collaboration. A similar phenomenon reached OnlyFans creators. Of course, collaboration in their case takes on a weightier meaning. Most people don't want to live at their job. The stress involved is likely to be amplified by the fact that any relationships have to fit into this environment, and any sincere intimacy you could have is another opportunity for exploitation and monetary gain. Personal lives, like sexual lives, become content. This can be extremely damaging to your expectations around intimacy. Stressful or emotionally straining living situations could exacerbate mental health issues. In an environment in which sexually explicit activity with your housemates is always a possibility, and the living situation is centered around making money there, it's likely that the Bop House could become a space of prolonged stress, rather than a place to unwind at the end of a long day. But what happens when these things get normalized in society? Let's explore further. During the pandemic, OnlyFans blew up as people were uncertain about their careers, and OnlyFans gave women a place to take charge of their financial independence and support themselves using their body. It sounds positive, but it could also be framed as being pushed into selling sexual activity to survive. The value placed on OnlyFans in the earlier years may have been misrepresented. On average, creators found that being an online sex worker was neither empowering nor extremely exploitative. However, just because you're in charge doesn't mean you're not exploiting yourself. Selling sexual favors is prostitution. Just because it's online doesn't make it any different. How is it not considered prostitution when, as in Lily Phillips' case, donors can be physically involved? OnlyFans content can be psychologically disorganized. This means that OnlyFans content involves mental gymnastics, using justifications, loopholes, and rationalizations to make it seem acceptable. It isn't exploitative, it's empowering. It isn't prostitution, it's just online content. But how far do these rationalizations get stretched when it comes to the promotion of the lifestyle to minors and people just turning 18 and fully believing that they have a wealthy, fulfilling future waiting for them on OnlyFans, where their worth will be forever tied to their looks and their sexual performance? How do we justify people promoting their OnlyFans on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to young impressionable people when we would do our best to keep that out of our neighborhoods? We aren't saying this because we think OnlyFans models are terrible people or that people should be ashamed for choosing that path. Psychologically speaking, we know that the life of a prostitute is not one we would typically gravitate towards or glamorize. So when does that thinking relate to OnlyFans? When it's normalized as a legitimate career path, these questions have to be asked. How many OnlyFans models are genuinely famous and wealthy? And how many OnlyFans models are there in total on the platform? It's getting more and more difficult to secure intimacy. There are a lot of reasons for this, but Porn use and porn addiction are partially responsible. OnlyFans is a unique case, specifically for consumers because it feels personal. On the surface, you're receiving intimate photos, videos, and texts, but in reality, it's a personalized product that you've paid for. The human connection that we need for a well-rounded and fulfilling life is absent from the transaction. It teaches people that intimacy is a trade, that it's something men can pay for and something women can sell. The value of intimacy is intimacy. It shouldn't be determined by how much someone is willing to pay or charge for it. This creates scenarios in which people overreach boundaries because they paid for someone's meal, or people will resist the urge to be with someone they like because they haven't sacrificed enough financially. It stifles the ways we usually measure our relationship and sexual satisfaction. It also promotes the unhealthy and depressing belief that intimacy is only for people with a lot of money or who follow a specific beauty standard. A documentary was made on Lily Phillips's 100-Man Challenge. After the challenge was filmed, she was in tears. She recalls feeling dissociated and couldn't remember a lot of the event, which could indicate trauma, though that's just speculation. There's a true danger that the competitive nature of OnlyFans, relying on numbers, stunts, and marketing, that people will be pushed to do challenges that could have a worse impact on mental health than we realize. This phenomenon has wider-reaching effects than just on OnlyFans. For example, you shouldn't be pressured to do something you don't want to do just because your partner enjoyed watching it in porn. Porn is staged, lit, directed, and performed. It's a show and doesn't reflect the little things like awkward pauses, running out of breath, and discomfort that can make real intimacy a unique conversation between two bodies. OnlyFans and porn can make performers of us all, whether we make content or not. Because porn is fabricated. It's quite literally impossible to live up to. The darker side of OnlyFans is a place where you're pressured to do more than you expected. You may find that the people you encounter through your work and your general sense of comfort are injured. Whether you're a creator or not, the effects of OnlyFans on your mental health are worth considering. If you're thinking about getting into it, consider the competition and the things you will feel pressured to do in order to grow and maintain your audience. If you're a consumer, consider how it's affected the way you look at other women and your expectations for your relationships. Thanks for joining us, Psych2Goers. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by leaving a like and subscribe to Psych2Go for more. See you next time. And remember, you matter.